Hello everyone, welcome to today's session on Jupyter Notebook. This is going to be a two-part series. In part 1, we are going to cover a brief definition of Jupyter Notebook, its extension, what are the different ways to launch, how to create a new notebook, and in last topic we will see that how we can add a code cell and a markdown cell to a notebook. So in our previous video we have seen Jupyter Notebook is a web application that allows us to create and share documents that contain live code, visualization, and explanatory text. Jupyter Notebook is also famous for learning and trying out Python, for data analysis tasks, and especially for data science and machine learning. The extension for Jupyter Notebook is .ipynb, which stands for IPython Notebook, right? So Jupyter Notebook, previously known as IPython Notebook, that's why the extension is .ipynb. The normal extension for Python code files is .py. Next, what are the different ways to launch Jupyter Notebook? So there are two ways for launching Jupyter Notebook. First is the Windows search Jupyter app option, and second is from the command prompt. So using Windows search, you have to go here and look for Jupyter Notebook app, click on this, and it will launch the Jupyter Notebook in your default browser. As you can see, Jupyter Notebook environment looks like a typical website. So here is the quit button, the logout button, you have upload button here and a new button, right? Let's explore the files tab first. Here you can see some folders. So whenever you launch Jupyter Notebook from the Jupyter Notebook app, by default it gets launched from the directory where it gets installed, right? So during installation you have mentioned a directory. For me it is my users C drive, users, and then my username, right? These are the folders which are visible to me. So by default, whenever you launch Jupyter Notebook, it will get launched in the installation path, right? But what if I want to work in E drive? I'm not able to see any folder to switch to E drive, right? On this, at least on this window. So that's why we have the second option, which is the Windows command prompt option, right? So I will go to my E drive first, and I have created a folder structure for myself. Please feel free to do so. I will copy this path, and now I will start my Windows command prompt by going to run, typing cmd and pressing on the OK button. Now I will switch to my E drive by using E:, and now I will use cd, the change directory command, to change the directory to my folder. Right here I will write Jupyter space notebook command and press enter to launch the second instance of Jupyter Notebook from my E drive folder, right? As you can see here, it is written the notebook list is empty because in my Jupyter intro folder I don't have any other file, right? So to compare these two ways of launching Jupyter Notebook, the first one is giving you the default folders. You have to do work at this space or in this directory, whereas the second one is giving you flexibility to work from your own folders and to work from other drives apart from the C, right? Okay, let's go to our next topic, which is how to create a new notebook, right? So let's create the new notebook in my E drive, my designated folder. Of course, I have to go to this new button and click on this Python 3 option. Now, because I have Python 3 installed in my laptop, I'm getting Python 3 here. If you have multiple versions, you will get multiple versions option here, right? So I will click on Python 3. And you can see I'm able to create a new notebook. Right now, the title is untitled, so I will give here Jupyter_intro, the name of my first notebook, and I will click on rename. As you can see, the name is changed to Jupyter_intro now. Again, it is giving you a look and feel of a website, or you can say typical software. Here you have some menu options which are file, edit, view, and then some small icons for shortcuts, right? This is the main area for me. This is known as the cell code, where I'm going to write my first Python code. Of course, it's going to be the print hello world, right? To execute this cell block, what I have to do is I can click on this arrow button to run this cell, or I can click on this run also, but my favorite is the keyboard shortcut, which is shift plus enter, right? So if I press shift enter on my keyboard, I will be able to execute this cell block. Alright, now second thing, we also want to add markdown to our notebook, right? So here you can see a drop down which right now showing me code. So this is a code block. To change this to markdown block, I have to select the markdown, right? Now if I type here, let's say introduction to Jupyter Notebook, right? And if I press shift enter again, nothing is happening, right? It's a normal common Python comment, or you can say it's a normal comment, right? So to convert this into a markdown, I have to give a hash symbol and a space, right? And now if I press enter, you can see I have a good heading here, right? If I copy paste this code and again paste it here and change this cell to markdown and give one more hash and now press shift enter, you can see the difference in the size of font, right? So if you give one hash, you have a big heading. If you give two hash, you will have a small heading. Now markdown is itself is a language and it's an art, so I will create some more videos separately for markdown. Alright, that's all for today's guys. We have covered all the topics for part 1. Please stay tuned for part 2 and let me know in case of any doubts or questions. Happy learning and stay safe.